you've come up in conversations in the past and I've kind of took the piss out of you about it.
Yeah.
Smoked paprika.
Smoked paprika. yeah.
What the hell, man?
Oh yeah.
It's like me and Tommy were sitting one day in his kitchen, and you was like, if you want a healthy snack, like, I'm just trying to reiterate what you're saying, if you want a healthy snack without flipping mad calories and all this here, what you want to do is 200 grams of chicken. And I literally looked at Thomas, I paused the video and I was like, cue the smoked paprika.
Here's the crack, here's the crack, here's the crack, here's the crack, here's the crack. Welcome back, talking shit and drinking wine. Like and subscribe. Here's the crack.
How's it going, people? Welcome back to another episode of the Here's the Crack podcast. I'm going to try and move that phone away every time we bring a phone out on the table. It interferes with that mic. We have a guest on this week. We haven't had a guest on in a good while. It's been a while, so feel privileged.
I'm privileged to be here.
Or unfortunate that you just replied.
I was wondering when you were going to ask me. I looked on your page and like I was actually scrolling through it. That's why I replied to you. I was like, fuck, it's weird you asked me, because I was scrolling through your Instagram. I was looking at all these people from Northern Ireland. I was like, that fucker Thomas knows me. Why is he not asking me yet? Literally 10 minutes later, I get a message. Here's the crack. Do you want to come on the podcast? I was like, that's freaky. Like,
yeah,
it was meant to be.
We had a list of people on before, but then like we had guests and stuff on, and then we just realised after a while that it was like a lot of people preferred the solo podcast.
Yeah.
So we kind of went back to recording solo podcasts, but then we were kind of getting guests on every so often. But then we were like, we need to switch up a bit and get guests on that can have a bit of crack.
The stage of like getting guests on for the sake of it, like,
because you felt like you had to. It was the same with me and my podcast. Like, I went through a stage where it was all solo episodes, and then I started getting lots of guests on, and I just assumed that's what people wanted. And then I put up a poll on Instagram. I was like, what do you prefer, solo episodes or episodes with guests? And it was like 60% preferred solo. So I think it's good to get a mix, but you can't fall into the trap of like, fuck, I need to get a different guest on every week, and then you're just scraping the bar like, who can I get on? I think as well, you just got me. Like, it's like, fuck, get that fucker Casey on. Like,
I think a lot of ones just like the raw sort of like our opinions on stuff that's going on, like, because this podcast started whereas every Sunday we were up every Sunday. It was a mad, like, it was a proper routine, like, and but the benefit of that was you were talking about things that had just happened, whereas now we kind of do a bit more batch recording, so we kind of keep it general. But yeah, like, we'll see how this goes. But yeah, no, for anybody like listening, like, they're bound to know you, but like, give a brief. I feel like when I do this, it's always really hard for people to like just in 10 seconds say who they are, but I'm gonna challenge you to do it, so let's go.
So technically speaking, I'm just a personal trainer that posts stuff on social media. That's how it started off anyway, just posting like fitness content, and then I just wanted to post on YouTube to help people simplify fitness, because I thought there was a lot of misinformation out there. And then I started posting on TikTok too, and that's just a crazy social media platform. Like, the fact that you have the ability to reach the entire world every time you post a video, and it's always going to strangers. So I blew up quite quickly in it. I was still just starting to post content and getting into the swing of things, and next thing you know, you've got a couple of 100,000 people following you. So off the back of that, I've launched multiple businesses. I run my own academy. It's like a fitness academy, helping people with their goals. I have a recipe book company. I have the Social Circle, which teaches people about social media, and then I do a bit of one-to-one social media and business coaching. So all of this stuff has happened within the past 2 years, and it's just been a bit of a crazy journey. It's like, it's still hard to process it, and it's hard to process the fact that I'm even on a podcast, because like 3 years ago I was still at uni and I was an absolute fucking rackhead, just drinking all the time, like, and now I'm on a podcast talking about stuff. So yeah, it's been a bit crazy. So it just stemmed from wanting to help people with fitness, and then bringing that to social media, and then basically TikTok and different social media algorithms like that, like, they basically changed my life because of the opportunity that is currently there.
Yeah. How was it? Because I'm always interested to know this whenever we talk to people, because I feel like a lot of people, when we're talking to them and they're trying to build an audience, they always say, you know, I've put in so much hard work over X number of years, and it's always like 5, 6, 7 years. And obviously, like you're saying, you went to uni and stuff, pissed about a bit.
Completely.
What happened to you kind of happened like a steam train all at once. So what was that like, the process from going from like to in such a short space of time?
So I always say, like, this, not even in a cocky way, but what I have now in terms of following in business should take 10-15 years of hard, solid, consistent grind, because everyone that I followed within the fitness industry and listened to their podcast, they always say the same thing. They're always like, the first year or two, it's bullshit. You have to post every day, you have to show up, and you're not going to get much traction, but as long as you stay consistent, eventually you'll have your breakthrough. And I was fully prepared to do that. But they were talking about a time when the social media algorithm was like Facebook, Instagram, mostly going to people that you know, and then if your content's getting shared, eventually it'll pick up traction. But now the algorithm just favors like you can be seen by anyone. So at the start, the first time when I started getting like the first mad sort of crazy time was like January, after I started posting, I went up like 100,000 followers in a week. And people are always like, how do you process that? And I was like, you can't, because how you meant to process 100, like your brain can't comprehend that. It just turns into a number. So it was a bit mad at the start, but I'm sort of desensitized to it. And I just see it as a progress metric, like is my following moving in the right direction? But I can't comprehend, like across my socials, I've got like 2.5 million or something people following me. So you can't actually comprehend that. Yeah. It's a bit fucking crazy. And everyone always asks me like, how does it feel? I was like, I don't know how it feels. It feels a bit strange. Like everything feels normal, but when you actually say it out loud and you talk about the amount of people that follow you, it's a bit of a crazy buzz. Like,
would you say it still hasn't like set in yet? Do you think it'll?
But at the same time, I don't think that can ever fully set in, because as I said, your brain can't comprehend it. But it is quite normal to me now when like I'm just like, right, I've got millions of people following me, and I don't know why the fuck, like I'm just talking about calories and stuff like that, like but that's the way it works out.
I have to ask, because it's been something that I've kind of homed in on, I'm not gonna lie. You've come up in conversations in the past and I've kind of took the piss out of you about it. Smoked paprika.
Smoked paprika. yeah.
What the hell, man?
Oh yeah,
it's like I think I did say it. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I think me and Tommy were sitting one day in his kitchen and you was like, oh, if you want a healthy snack, like I'm just trying to reiterate what you're saying, if you want a healthy snack without flipping mad calories and all this here, what you want to do is 200 grams of chicken. And I literally looked at Thomas, I paused the video and I was like, cue the smoked paprika. So you want to get a bit of smoked paprika and whack it on there? I'm like, this guy.
When did you first discover it? And
I would love to see Tesco seals like it's smoked paprika.
I don't know, like, because I never like see the way I post loads of cooking videos. I was just sort of posting as I was learning to cook, like, because I had never really cooked for myself in the past. So that's why all the recipes are so simple and easy, and I think that's what people like. So I was like, fuck, I need to season the chicken, and I was like, salt, pepper, smoked paprika. Holy fuck, this stuff is magic compared to the rest of the seasonings. So I just threw it on everything, like started making sauces and all with smoked paprika. And like, to be fair, the volume of smoked paprika in the recipes has been dialed down. There's a bit more variation now, but at the start I was putting in everything, like drinking it with water and stuff. Like, it was just everyone's like calling me the smoked paprika boy or like air fryer boy, and I was like, fuck, I need to stop using so much smoked paprika.
I was actually thinking about this the other day. People were commenting on a lot of our videos, and you actually did an interview with him, the protein bar. And I was like, how did it not catch on where people just weren't commenting on everything being like smoked paprika? Like, it was mad. Like, I remember it so clearly. I think you have dulled down now, but you done well in terms of, you know, whenever you were scrolling on TikTok, and then you done that whole squeezing the wraps and all, like the juicy cheese and all that there. I was like, this boy knows what he's at. But then smoked paprika. I've never tried smoked paprika. I'm not.
Oh, you've never tried it? You need to try it. You don't know what you're missing out on. Like,
You'll be next to every TikTok. Every podcast has to be like, buy smoked paprika. That's the one.
Yeah. I had to get that out of the way.
In terms of like, you're saying there how fast your following grew, like, how long, like, when did you start thinking, right, I need to start monetizing this, or was it before, was that always the plan? Like,
no, I think far too many people go into the social media with the goal of monetization straight away. They might see what I have in the different businesses and the following, they're like, I want that. So what they go into social media and they're like, right, I want to post so I can eventually make money. Whereas I went into it as, I want to post because I want to help as many people as possible. And through just posting to provide pure value, down the line, I posted for 6, 7, 8 months before I ever made any money off it. And at the start, it was literally pennies. I was just doing one-to-one coaching for literally fuck all. So too many people are going into social media, jumping at the first brand deal and stuff that they see, jumping at all these offers, and it just leads to them making less money down the line. But what I always say to people, you can't go into social media with the sole intention of making money. You need to have something that you're really, really passionate about and you love talking about, and you would literally do that for free. And then by doing that, providing value, people will see how passionate you are about that. They'll connect with you. And then down the line, it would make no sense not to give them an offering. So that's when I launched my own one-to-one online coaching. And then I launched my academy and the recipe books, and everything just comes off the back of it. But at the start, I was in it with the intention, I'm just going to post every single day for free and not try and make money off it. And it was in the back of my head, like eventually, right, I'll do my PT start and I'll do a bit of online coaching. But I'd done the maths at the start, and I was like, right, I'll do that down the line after provided free value. But I worked it out, like if I charge this amount for online coaching and I have this many clients, I'll be making like 30k a year. And I was like, that'll be me fucking sorted. That's like the 3-year goal. And then obviously after a few months of online coaching, you're doing that, and then you're launching more businesses, and then things come off the back of it. So when the goal of your social media is just to provide value, that's when good things happen in terms of business. But if you're just going in because you want to make as much money as possible, you're going to put money in front of actually providing value. You're going to jump into first offers, and your morals and ethics will take a back seat. And that's something that I pride myself in, and I think that's why my businesses and stuff have done so well.
Yeah.
Have you had people that have been like, right, I want to make money straight away, and when you've sort of had to be like, look, this isn't going to work?
Yeah, like no, like people will come to me and they'll be asking, like, because obviously I run the social circle, which teaches people how to grow and monetize their social media. But in the course in that, I'll be telling people, look, you need to provide free value. You need to have something of value first and then monetize down the line. But when people are looking to make money straight away, it never works out as well. And even if they do make money, then their social media is hit as a byproduct of that, because then people's like, oh, they're so salesy all the time, and then they don't grow, and then they're capped on how much money they can make because they haven't put the graft in at the start.
Yeah. Is it one of them things where one of the questions that you were asked a lot, and when you put up that question box, was the whole like sort of, I think it's a standard question, which is like, oh, you know, you're so wise for your age or something along the lines of that there. Mm-hmm. But like, do you think whenever TikTok sort of blew up for you, did you think it was a really simple thing to do in terms of a lot of people would try and monetize the TikTok, whereas you started making money through like the social circle and like the PT stuff? Because if TikTok went bang in the morning, it would probably impact you a fair bit, but not you would be kind of unshaken by it, if that makes sense.
I've grew on like TikTok, Instagram, have my own podcast, have my own email list. So if one
thing, going to say OnlyFans.
no, not yet. So if one, like, say if one of the social media, like, you're at the mercy of the social media algorithm. So say if it does suddenly take a turn, and like, say for example, people that grew on Facebook years ago, and then the algorithm sort of switched, then they're completely fucked. Whereas I built my, like, I could go off social media today, and I've still got people in my academy, still got people in the social circle, that I could build a very successful business just off referrals. So I think there's a lot to be said about building a successful business for yourself. And a lot of people go on to social media because they want to make money, they want brand deals because they think that's what influencers do. But if you're getting lots of brand deals and that's your only source of income, then you're making other people money. Whereas if you can create your own businesses, you're making all that money yourself, and it's 100% authentic, because no matter if you like it or not, if you're doing brand deals all the time, it's not going to be authentic. So if you can build your own businesses off the back of that, I think you're going to make way more money, and it's a much better way to do things. But again, I work with lots of people, and there's lots of people that I know that do brand deals too, and that's completely fine. But there just has to be a happy medium.
Yeah. I think that's a good segment to go into Tommy's question time. So Thomas has 2 questions for you.
This.
Roll the intro.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the greatest show on earth.
It's Tommy's question time.
Yeah, so I was going to ask you, obviously you've had a lot of success on TikTok. Like, what is your favourite things about TikTok and your least favourite things about TikTok?
My favourite thing is the fact that you can reach a lot of people. My least favourite thing is the fact that a lot of people can give you their opinion. Like, everyone has a fucking opinion on TikTok, and they're just going to be commenting it. And a lot of people don't deserve to have an opinion, and they're just going to put it out there anyway. So I've been able to build my business off the fact that I can reach so many people. But you also have little fucking people with fake profiles and stuff just giving you abuse and things like that for absolutely no reason. So you need to be strong-headed and stuff like that to post on TikTok. But if you can put that to the side, the best thing about it is the worst thing. The worst thing is also the best thing.
What was that like though? Like, obviously you're saying like about growing so fast. Like, how did you like adapt to like getting so much like comments and stuff, and like so many people reacting to your content?
I just had to learn off people within the industry that have dealt with the same thing, and learn how to process these different comments. Because at the end of the day, if someone is commenting under your profile, and they're on, like, say for example, they're on a fake profile, they're only projecting their own insecurities. So at the start you might take that personally, but that's more of a reflection on them than it is on you. So it's about knowing how to identify these comments and being like, if someone's spending their time being negative and they're literally on their home on a fake profile comment, what does that say about their life? So you more begin to feel sorry for them instead of taking it personally, you know?
Yeah. What's it like navigating the fitness industry online? Because we obviously see, before this we'd obviously done the Geedy podcast and all about the hate comments and stuff that comes from that. And when you're looking on the likes of mainly like personal trainers and people in the fitness industry, it goes from more, there is a lot of comments in like disagreeing with how things are done, like, oh, you drink Diet Coke but Diet Coke's bad for you. So it's not, I wouldn't exactly call it like hate comments or like negative comments, but it's more like there's a lot of criticism. For an outsider it looks that way. So like, how do you deal with people who likes a PT online, someone like similar position to yourself, coming at you with like facts or whatever? If you said something there, like, no, I disagree because of X, Y, and Z.
Well, one thing that you'll often hear people say about social media is any negative comments that you get, they're just haters, just brush them off, they're jealous of you. But what I think about negative comments is you need to process them. Does that person have a point? So if you're looking and someone's made a comment and they're disagreeing with you, instead of being like, oh, fuck them, I'm like, does this person have a point? Everything that I say is evidence-based. I literally, every morning for like the past 2 years, I listen to a podcast on a different aspect of fitness. If there's something that I'm not educated on, I'll make sure to go and learn it. So I'm very confident if I'm posting something online to millions of people, I'm very confident that I know about it. Say for example, take artificial sweeteners diet drink. I've done the research in them. I know that aspartame is completely safe for human consumption when consumed in moderation. So if someone comments and tells me, oh, that's going to kill you, it's going to give you cancer, I'm like, where is the evidence to back up this statement? So I feel like if people aren't confident in their ability when they're starting to post on social media and they don't actually know the topics inside out, then they can doubt themselves. But whereas I look at the comments, process them, does this person have a point? If they disagree with me, I take it on board, but I know for a fact what I'm posting is evidence-based. And of course, if someone says something that I haven't seen before, I'm like, right, I'll go check back on that, and then I'll come back and tell them that they're wrong.
Yeah.
I've seen recently you're doing some like videos with like Tony McAlevey and that there. Is there ever like any points where like your opinion is conflicted with theirs and things that you disagree on?
Me and Tony McAlevey are completely different coaches.
Seriously?
Like he would be quite a bodybuilding style, stricter sort of coach, where I'm more of a lifestyle. And we but this doesn't mean one person's right or wrong. Me and Tony done a podcast today actually, and we were talking about this. We just have different ideologies in our coaching. We post different styles of content, but that's completely fine. A lot of personal trainers will like they won't get on with other personal trainers because they're jealous of them or they disagree, whereas I think it's good that you can be friends with a different personal trainer that has slightly different ideologies. Like the core stuff that you're talking about is all evidence-based, so it's mostly the same, but it's never like, oh, I disagree with him, like this is it's sweet that way. Like, has it ever like stemmed outside the comment section? Like, has anybody ever approached you, like if you're on a night out and been like, I think you're a cock? No, never. I don't think so. Everyone's sort of usually nice when I see them, and it's usually a really, really nice interaction, because obviously what I'm doing is speaking about fitness and fat loss. So a lot of people are coming up to me with stories that I've never met before and be like, I've watched your content, it's helped my relationship with food, I've lost this amount of weight. So it's usually a really, really nice experience. And to be fair, I don't get that many hate comments or anything like that either. Like there's not, like sometimes you'll get the odd one and it's clearly like lads that have like a running joke or something, because you see in their profile pictures like it's them in the Hatfield or something, and they're like tagging their mates and they're like mocking the way I'm saying something, and I'm like, what's the crack with that? But like no one has ever came up to me in person being like, I think you're a wanker.
In fairness, like you're pretty well built, like I wouldn't chance it on a night out.
Imagine someone come on and be like, I think Smoked Paprika is a pile of wank. Bang.
That's what you done in this podcast.
TikToker Sean Casey beats the shit out of someone for slabbering about Smoked Paprika.
If you had a few drinks and you would have been like, what the fuck is this?
Straight up there, mate, big man. Let's talk about Smoked Paprika. I feel like we'll take it back to this, well, not the earlier days before TikTok and stuff. You sort of mentioned a lot about uni and your uni experiences. So in comparison to who you are right now, what was uni? Sean Casey.
People are like, what the fuck's going on here? Like people that know me are like, this is a bit nuts, like, because before I was known for TikTok, people used to approach me on nights out and be like, I know you from Snapchat, mate. Your Snapchat story's fucking nuts. You've been on like 3-day benders and documented the full thing. And I was like, oh, all right, what's the crack, mate? So like, I just drunk every single weekend when I was at uni, drunk 2-3 times a week. And it was never like, oh, I'm just like drowning my sorrows. It was like, this is what everyone's doing and it's good crack. But it wasn't until I took a step back and realized like, where was I actually going with this? I like, the only thing I was doing and looking forward to was drinking and partying and like going down to the lands and things like that. So it's been a mad switch, but I feel like it was very necessary. But I'm glad that I blew off my steam, like, because there was a lot of steam that got blew off.
Everybody always talks about like the anxiety. Like, I take it you had a lot of that. Was there any times like, what was there a definitive time where you just woke up one morning and was like, lad, nah, I need to change?
It's more of a build up, because anxiety isn't just like one day. It can lead into 2-3 days, and when you're drinking multiple times a week, you're just in a loop. So you're drinking alcohol at the weekends, and then you've got your hangover and your anxiety on Sunday leading into Monday, Tuesday. You're starting to feel back to yourself Wednesday, Thursday, and then you're drinking again, and it's this constant loop, and it's not good for your mental health at all. And a lot of people are in this loop and they don't even see it as an issue. They're all like, oh, just hungover here, like, oh, looking forward to a drink again. And it's all like, what else are you looking forward to? And there's nothing, like, I still drink, I'll still go out, like, I'm going to Croatia tomorrow, I'll probably go on a ripper for a full week, but it's just about having the balance and having other things in your life to look forward to as well, because as much as many people don't like to admit it, they don't have things in common with their friends. They're with their friends all the time, but they're only with them when they're drinking. So if you're only with your friends when you're drinking and you're not actually having the crack, you're just like, oh, let's go out and get wrecked, and you're getting absolutely blocked all the time. Do you actually have things in common with these people, or are you just friends because you're drinking all the time? And that's something that you have to take a step back with. And that's not me that's saying everyone that drinks with your friends. I still love all my friends that I used to drink with all the time because I have other things in common with them too. But there's certain people that once you stop drinking, you just don't talk to them at all, and then it's like, what was even going on there?
Would you say like your social circle sort of changed up since you have?
Oh, my social circle, the business, but my actual literal social circle is tiny now. But I don't mind that, because I'm so focused on content and focused on business that I'm like, I don't need to be going out and drinking every weekend and have this massive circle. I'd rather have a small group of friends and just focus on my social media, focus on my business, because it's doing so well at the minute, and I'm almost addicted to that growth, that it's like I've replaced wanting to go out and drink and stuff like that all the time with wanting to focus on my business. And then of course still having balance, still being able to go out and have a drink when I want it. Like at the start, when I stopped drinking so much, I used to go back out, and this was after I'd started posting on TikTok, and have a drink, and then I would try and drink like I used to, and I would always black out, and I would always wake up the next morning with like all these like photos, like, oh, I seen Smoked Paprika boy, and like running around. What was it? That emerged. Someone sent me a photo of me and them at emerge, and my top was inside out and the wrong way around, and I was like, holy fuck, like, so I've had to rein it in a bit since then. It takes a bit of balancing to try and get the right amount of alcohol after being a rackhead, and then going to being a lightweight, like.
Do you think, like, we sort of talked about this a couple of weeks ago, do you think there is a sort of like a drinking culture problem here? Like, do you think it is we were sort of saying, like, do you think it is a problem, or do you think it is sort of like fair enough? Because like there is that sort of social aspect of it, of like you're going out for a few pints with your mates.
But I always say to people, like, are you enjoying drinking? Like, are you going out and enjoying drinking? If you're going down to the pub with your mates and you're playing a game of pool, you're sitting having the crack, talking about work, that there's nothing at all wrong with that. But if you're not even enjoying it and you're feeling like you need to go out and have a drink just for the sake of having a drink because that's what you do at the weekends, and then you're waking up and you've spent all the money that you worked so hard for to make that week, and you're always regretting it, and you're never actually enjoying it. Like, there's never, you don't wake up the next morning and be like, last night was good crack, we caught up, we had the crack. It's like, I can't remember last night, I was so fucked, I spent all my money. So there's enjoyment, and then there's just unhealthy behaviors every weekend and spending all your money, which you need to strike a balance. It's not like everyone has to go cold turkey and not drink, because I still drink, as I said, but it's just like, you need to evaluate where you're at. Like, are you enjoying going out and having a drink with your friends? Are these people that you're drinking with people that you would do stuff with when you're sober as well? And if they're not, then you need to reevaluate that and think, are they actually your true mates?
Did you drop out uni?
I didn't drop out. I finished. I got a 2-1. Stopped going to class like in November. So like September, November, stop going to class, and then uni still runs to like May just to focus on TikTok. And people think that's ridiculous, but I knew where it was going. And uni's a fucking joke. Like business studies.
Will you stop going to class and me and you slipping slaved away, and we still go to
yeah, business studies. I just literally done the assignments and done the exams, done the online exams. I was like, how, like, uni's a scam, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just a money making thing. Like, I can literally not go to class and still get a 2-1. Yeah. Everyone gets into uni these days too. It's not even really an achievement. You got into uni, well done. Like, it's hard not to get into uni if you really want to. You just go to tech like I done, do a BTech and then just float in.
Yeah,
I think it's a scam as well. Like, it's crazy.
It depends what you're doing. Like, if you want to be a doctor, obviously it's going to be important. If you're looking to be like high end, like a researcher in the fitness industry, obviously you're going to need to do your degree. But if you're doing business studies, like, what for? What are you doing business studies for? If you want to start your own business, go and start it. Because like I learned nothing about starting my own business, doing a business studies degree. I learned more along the way.
That's what I was about to ask. Like, did you actually learn, like, use anything you learned? Because like it's the same for us with marketing. It's like we done a marketing degree, and I went into like a marketing agency and all, and like doing actually like Facebook ads and stuff, and like you don't learn anything that people actually use in real life.
Not
like.
at all. Like, I'm going to sound like Andrew Tate here, but I think
that's so strange. That's so weird. We were talking about Andrew Tate.
I'm going to sound like Andrew Tate. You know the way he talks about his Hustlers University. But see, the social circle, people will make more money from it, and it'll be way more beneficial than a 4-year university degree. Like, see some of the results people are getting from the social circle, building businesses off the back of their social media following. People are going to uni all the time, and then they're going into jobs they're not interested in. A lot of them aren't even getting jobs. Whereas if you have something that you're passionate about and you can post on social media and learn how to monetize that and build businesses, that is 100 times more valuable, and it's not costing you anywhere near that amount. Like,
how did the social circle come about then?
See, if I have an idea, I don't overthink it too much. I analyze it and say, is this a good idea? So when I was doing my one-to-one online coaching, I got fully booked with it. And then I was all like, would it be a good idea to launch group coaching? And then I was like, right, I have the interest here. I was doing polls, gauging, seeing what the target audience was like. Right, launch that. It was a success. I post recipes on social media. Should I launch a recipe book? Think about it, right? Thought about it for a couple hours, right? Yeah, I'll launch it. I'll go and do it. And then I started, like, I blew up here on social media. And it wasn't like, right, I'll just launch a social circle straight away. I started coaching people. And I was like, can I coach people to do what I've done? Started coaching people one-to-one, replicating my results on absolutely everyone that I coached. And I was like, there is a few fundamentals here that people need to learn about the social media algorithm and how to get your videos to reach people. So I was like, if I can put all this knowledge in a course and sell it, I think it'll do very well. Again, gauge the target audience, done polls. I thought about it, but I didn't overthink about it. A lot of the time people have paralysis by analysis. Oh, what if this goes wrong? What if this goes wrong? I was like, is there interest here? Yeah, there is. Have I got results? Yeah, do. Right, let's do it straight away. That's why I'm sitting here with like 4 businesses, because a lot of people would take years to launch each business, whereas I just go. I make sure it's smart. I make sure it's not stupid. It's not going to flop. And again, even if the social circle did flop, it would be a failure and I'd learn from it. But I know basically 95% if I'm launching something that's going to do well, and I know that I have value in what I'm posting. So I was like, right, I'm going to get this going. And like, if you look on, go type into Instagram SC social circle, look at the results that I'm posting on the page. They're absolutely fucking bonkers. Like, people are changing their lives. There's been people that have posted on social media every day for 4 years, not really got many results from it. Join the social circle, up to 200k in a week. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Would you say there's like any, you said there, like, you've sort of analysed things before you do it. Would you say like you've done that before and it hasn't worked out in any aspects?
Not really, no. but I'm sure it will. Like, but
just non-stop. Like, just gonna be a billionaire in no time.
Yeah, no, but like, I think about different ideas all the time. But then if I think that I can bring them to life, I'll brainstorm it. And I've never went through like a launch process where I'll start teasing up my Instagram story and putting up polls and then planning it, and then it fell through, because if I'm thinking about launching something, I know that it has value, and if it has value and I've got the following and people are going to buy it, it's always going to do well. But again, as I said, if things didn't go well, I would just analyze, see what went wrong, and then retry. But there's so much value in the things that I launched that I know that, you know, they're going to get out to the right sort of people.
Yeah. So what's a work week like? Like, what's a work day like?
So it varies. Like, so I could run all my businesses working like an hour a day, but I don't do that because I always like to be moving forward in the right direction. So if say for example, when I was working on the social circle and launching it, a work day would be like, do all the necessary tasks. So the necessary tasks is like check-ins with one-to-one clients, replying to the Facebook group, so the social circle Facebook group. Obviously it wasn't a thing at the time, but the Sean Casey Academy Facebook group, replying to messages there. So we'll do that sort of stuff in the morning. I have a Zoom call on Thursdays at 8 p.m. for an hour with my academy, and then outside of that there's a lot of making social media content, so I could spend like literally 3-4 hours a day making social media content. And then if I have a launch coming up, I'll be working on the recipe book, or I'll be working on the social circle, I'll be putting things together for that. So it's all maintenance work, check-ins, social media content takes up literally the bulk of the time. And then if I have a launch coming up, it's like all day just working on what's launched, but it varies all the time. Like today, the work day was getting up and just doing a bit of content, replying to the Facebook group, recording a podcast in Dublin, and then coming and recording a podcast here. So it chops and changes all the time.
Did you ever say you had people working for it? Like,
yeah, so my sister works for me full time. So she first started working for me when I was launching the academy. She done architecture. She's so good at like graphics and logos and things like that. So she put together my website for the academy, and like all the PowerPoints and things like that. I would do them out that are in the education portal, and then she would make them look nice. And then she obviously came on to help me with the recipe book, done a cracking job with that, and then another recipe book, and then the social circle. So she basically works for me full time now. In between, she's going to be starting her PhD, but it's really cool that I can do that too, where I can like literally hire my sister full time, and she's really good at what she does. In that, like, all her design work, she's on the ball, and she's clued into, like, she knows how my business is run. She can help respond to emails and things like that too. So she's the only employee that I have at the minute, but I'm sure down the line I would hire more.
Yeah. There was a question on here. Would you ever consider going to uni now? I would assume that's a big fat no.
No, I wouldn't, because what I want to do, there's no necessity for uni. Like, if I wanted to go on within the fitness industry and be like a researcher, I would go on and do a master's, a PhD or something like that. But I just want to help normal people change their lifestyle, and then obviously want to lean into the social media stuff and the recipe books and things like that. So going to uni, for me, it would just be like an egotistical thing. Oh, I can have a few letters after my name and I can say that I'm qualified in this, whereas I don't need to prove to people that I have qualifications. I know that I have the knowledge, and I just present that in my social media content and the information that I present to people.
Yeah. In terms of like everything you've done, so like the PT and like the social circle and everything, has that all been like self-taught? Like how did you grow all your knowledge for like to help out people?
You were talking about Tony there. Tony helped me massively, because I always think it's smart to, when you want to be in a certain position, hire someone that's already there and get them to coach you. So I hired Tony as my coach, and I learned a lot from him about like business and things like that. But in terms of, see, the social media side of things and the social circle and stuff like that, that was all self-taught, just looking at what works in my content, researching the algorithm. Because see, everyone that has a social media course out that is maybe like the leaders in the fitness industry, or even not in the industry, that is any more than 2 years old, it's completely outdated. It's so outdated. They're talking about stuff that's irrelevant, like putting like loads of infographics and hiring someone to like put your face on your photos and things like that. And I was like, that is not, like, it's this full switch to short form content, reels, TikToks, things like that. If you know how to work them, you're going to grow massively. But see, all the like the leaders in the social media space and the fitness space, a lot of them are actually just talking about stuff that got them to grow and outdated information, whereas it's not how it works anymore. So if I had someone and I was like, they know TikTok, they know Instagram Reels, they're up to date, I would hire them as my mentor. But a lot of people just aren't clued into it, that I would look to hire as a mentor. So hired Tony to help me with coaching, but like the social media stuff and things like that, it's all self-taught.
Yeah. Is there anything that, like, with regards to, like, I've seen in the questions and stuff that people were asking, you get a lot of like, oh, can you work out my calories and all that there, but is there anything that you see coming across and you've kind of researched it to a point now where it almost really agitates you whenever people ask certain things about, like, because I feel like the fitness industry, there is a lot of like misinformation and a lot of crap out there, like you've keto and all that there. What is the main thing that kind of riles you?
Nothing really riles me, because at the end of the day, if someone's asking me a question, they don't know the answer to it, and I was once in the exact same position as they were in, so I'll never get bored of answering the same questions, because the more people that have access to the required information, the better. But what annoys me is when people come across in a way like, oh, they're telling me instead of asking me. They're all like, oh, you know that carbs make you fat. Like, there's so much carbs in this, that's going to spike your insulin. And then if your insulin spiked, that's a fat storing hormone. I was like, mate, you've watched literally 3 YouTube videos. Now you're trying to lecture me when I've done this, researched this. It's my full-time job. So a lot of the time I'll have back and forth. I'll not do it in an argumentative way. I'll be like, mate, like, have you read anything apart from Jason Fong's book, like, to actually know what you're talking about here? And then I'll have the conversation. I'm like, right, here's what the study says, low fat versus low carb. Here's what this says. And a lot of the time they'll be like, all right, actually, I'm sorry about that. I didn't realize you're the man or whatever. You know what I mean?
You're the Smoked Paprika
Maybe I won't say
man.
that part, but a lot of the time it's fucking pointless arguing on TikTok with people because it's very rare that they actually admit that they're wrong, and it just wastes a lot of time. But I never have any issue answering questions. It's when people are telling me stuff and pretending that they know better, when a lot of the time they don't at all. Like,
yeah, fair.
Do you think there is like many fitness coaches out there now, or that like are misinforming their audience, or do you think like everyone, like, you're sort of getting caught out now because there is so much knowledge out there? Like,
there's still loads that are misinforming their audience, and they know that they're doing it for a fact, but they built their business off the fact that they're misinforming them. So they'll be like, oh, this is all the foods that you need to cut out. They'll like be like fear mongering, and I've called people out like this before, but they just don't listen because they know that they're wrong. But then when you go on their profile, you click the link, it turns out that they're like selling a supplement or something like that. So that's where they're trying to get people to, the fear monger, and then sell a supplement. So the people that are spreading misinformation know that they are, but they're doing it for a reason, the fact that they're making money off it. And it is becoming better now that more people will call them out, but there is still a lot of people that just don't care about being called out, and they'll do it anyway because they're making money.
Yeah. Is there anybody who you've called out that it's kind of backfired?
Not really. I called out this guy Dave's weight loss, and it backfired in the fact that my video got took down for bullying, and my TikTok was on its last legs at that stage, because I used to do a lot of call out videos, and you get bans, you get temporary bans, and they start off like an hour, and then next thing you know, you're up to a week, and week's like the last straw. So I called out this guy Dave's weight loss. I was like, you're fear mongering, and then I went onto his profile, clicked the link, showed people the supplements that he was selling. And then the video got took down for bullying, because no matter what, if you're right or wrong, if you're making a video about someone else and it gets reported for bullying, it's always going to get took down. So my TikTok account got not permanently banned, got temporarily banned for a week, and then that's one-off permanent ban. So I had to stop calling people out, because like, there's so much misinformation out there, but I'm not risking my account. I was like over 1 million followers at the time, and I was like, fuck.
Were you proper shit?
Yeah, like I was freaking out like so much. Yeah.
What came about with all that? Because I think with regards to like obviously going from like doing all the like the recipes and stuff to then you're going straight to calling these people out on the BS.
Yeah.
Was there a stage where you're a bit like, I don't know if I want to do this? Or was it?
No, I was like, fuck them. They're literally talking so much shit here, and like I wasn't like, oh, I need to call this person out. I was like, I need to use this person as an opportunity to educate my audience and help them out, and help them be not led astray by the misinformation that's being presented here. So I didn't like, but I like to like take jabs at people, like slag them off of it while I'm calling them out, because that adds to the entertainment and people like that. But it wasn't like I just need to call this person out and attack their personality. It was like I need to call them out so my audience knows the correct information, because if someone in my audience seen this video, they could be led astray because this person has a nice way with words, and it can be quite convincing. So I like to call them out and do it. But then obviously I don't do as much as that now, because I want my account, like I can't lose my job.
Yeah. Oh, that's fair. But you're sort of doing a lot of you moved abroad there for a while.
Yeah.
And it'd be interesting to know, because you'd sort of said to me about a video that you did. I didn't actually see it, but you said something about sun loungers, or people taking photos on sun loungers.
No,
for
I
like
seen
it's
like
fake.
you like, I think you done like a video and you were basically saying, I was like, when you were like leaving, was it, where did you go?
I went to Marbella. So, yeah. I done the likes and dislikes of it,
that
because
was it. Yeah.
A lot of people are on social media and they'll go to somewhere like Marbella and they're like, I fucking made it here. I'm in Marbella. Everyone's going to think I'm class. Whereas I didn't even really want to go to Marbella, but the lads were all like, the gym scene's good, we'll go away, it's a bit of sun. I was like, right, fair enough, we'll go to Marbella. But I wasn't going to go to Marbella and be like, I'm such an influencer here, I love this place so much, because it's not my sort of vibe. I liked it more than I thought I was going to like it. I liked the sun, I liked the gym scene. A lot of the people were really nice, especially the people that worked in like cafes and things like that. But it's an extremely ego driven place. It's all about what car you're driving, what clothes you're wearing, if you've bought a bottle at a club, and everyone's just living in their own wee la la land where they're trying to where they care more about other people thinking that they're happy than actually being happy themselves. Like the thing about the sun loungers was, I would go to a beach club and you would have to buy a bed in the beach club, and the beds would finish at like 6 p.m. and then it would turn into a nightclub. So people would be coming in at 6 p.m. And then once people were getting up off their beds, they would be getting photos on the beds to pretend that they bought that, and getting photos for their Instagram, and spend like half an hour, 40 minutes taking photos, looking at the photos, and then leaving. And I was like, you care more about people seeing that you've got a bed on your Instagram than actually just enjoying yourself being here, going to the nightclub or whatever. So I'm like, this place it's just a bit fucking bonkers. And then you see like the old men walking around with like their trophy wives and things like that. And I was like, it doesn't feel like reality. Like the way I described it was, there is a lot of pleasure in this place, but I don't know if there's much true happiness. But different places are suited to different people. Some people absolutely love it, and that's completely fine. But for me, it wouldn't be a place that I'd be like, oh, I'm down to go back. Like, I'll probably go back, and you'll see me go back to go for like a month or so, but I wouldn't like permanently live there.
I think I seen your buddy Matthew McNabb, who was on Love Island, and he does like fitness content now, and he pretty much said the exact same thing.
I was with him in Marbella. I met up with him and done a gym session and that. So
it just gives me like Towie vibes, you know. The guys Essex. People like that out there.
But the whole beds thing's mad, like because like we were talking about it before. It's like how many people actually want to go places, like even like on holiday, or how many people are just going to get like that Instagram photo in front of something just to be like, oh, I was there, you know. It's crazy,
it's like it's such a mad time that we're living through, where a lot of people aren't actually happy with where they're at, but they want to like give the perception that they are, and they're posting on social media like, oh, look at this, and they're not actually enjoying these different moments in life because they're more worried about how other people feel about them, and like taking the right photos and things like that. It's fucking mental.
And then it's like that drives people even further down into being like unhappy with themselves.
100%.
They put up a photo, and then the next thing they don't get enough likes or something, then it's just a spiral.
Yeah, that's because that's what their validation is, just off other people's opinions.
Yeah.
And if you're always just waiting to be validated off other people's opinions, how many likes you get and things like that, you're going to stop living a life that you want to live because you're more worried about what other people think. It's fucked.
Yeah. I suppose, like, do you ever... You sort of say a lot about, you know, you go traveling and whatnot, and I know it's a big thing. Like, I've followed James Smith for a while, and a lot of people ask him why he doesn't have a house or a mortgage or anything out there. Would you be similar in terms of, would you be... Because a lot of people say, whenever you send that stuff through, like, oh, you know, you're wise, you're young, but you're wise and all this here, you've grew up. But at the same time, I think a stereotypical place to be in as growing up is, oh, you need to get a house. You need to get on the property ladder and all this here.
See, I think there's a lot to be said about renting and not being tied down to a specific place for yourself. So if you get a mortgage out, you're tied down to that place, and then if you want to go traveling and things like that, it's just a bit of a ball ache. But at the same time, if you're making money, like if you're making decent money, you're not spending it all unless you're spending it on stupid things, and money's depreciating in your bank account. So property is a smart investment to make. If you can get a few houses and then you can rent them out to people, you put down a 20 grand deposit, in 15 years you've turned that 20 grand into 150 grand or whatever it happens to be. That's a smart thing to do with your money. So there's a difference between like, oh, just like not enjoying your life and just making smart investments. So property is something that I definitely do, because if you, as I said, if you're making decent money, you're not just spending all the money that you have. And if it's just sitting in your bank account because you don't want to buy property and things like that, it makes no sense, because you're losing a lot of money, especially with inflation. So I would be in no rush to buy my own property or get tied down. I would definitely be open just to going around and renting, but at the same time I would like to build up a property portfolio, because it's a smart thing to do with your money if it's just sitting in the account. Like,
yeah. Were you ever into crypto?
I knew nothing about it. Like my mate used to, when I done like one-to-one in-person coaching, my mate used to come around and like he was in this group chat and he was all like, oh lad, you need to get on Polkadot, lad, it's the next big thing. So I'd be sticking like all this money into Polkadot, and then it would be like flying up, and I was like, holy fuck, I've got like 4 grand here, and then it would crash. So I have a rule of thumb now: if I don't understand something, I'm not going to put money into it. So I don't know nothing about crypto. Like, no one knows anything about crypto unless you're like proper into it. Like, and even at that, it's unpredictable. So with investments like property, people are always going to need houses. It's pretty straightforward, the investment that you make. But crypto, it's I put a bit of money in, but I'll not be putting any more in. Like, but if you were to, like, now would be a smart time, because everyone shit themselves and bought when everything was on the rise. Now all the prices have crashed. So I'm sure Bitcoin and things like that will eventually go back up. and then people will be like, oh, I should have invested back then. So prices are down at the minute. Not financial advice, but go work away on anyone that's interested.
Get all your money into
you seem like, for someone who's been so successful on social media and obviously like done so well for yourself, like you don't seem so like really bothered by like materialistic things. Like,
I just don't think it would make me that happy. Like I don't spend that much money. Like since I've started making way more money, my like people always say you spend just what you're making, so you don't actually make that much more money. But like I don't spend any money on a weekly basis. I spend money when I go on holidays and that, and like I bought myself a car. I paid off my parents' mortgage. That was a pretty cool thing to do. But
fair play.
I don't think that people are following me and people like the way I am because of the way I am. If I start going like, oh, I'm going to need to buy all this stuff to impress these people, no one's going to be impressed by that. I'm not going to be impressed by like designer clothes and stuff. So there's no point wasting money on it, you know?
I just think that's so refreshing, because I think like especially now on TikTok and like Instagram and all, it's like, oh, I've been grinding and like I've bought myself this new car and like everything, so like you have to put it on Instagram, like look what I've got because I'm such a hard worker type of thing. And you're just like who gives a fuck? Like,
just wait for the validation.
But I
you
think
know what I mean?
It isn't something to get easily trapped into. When you start making decent money, you almost think, oh, other people want to see, like you want to show other people the money that you're making. But see, if you take a step back, when have you ever looked at someone else that's been like flashing their car thing and thought, oh, that's so class? Like no one gives a fuck. Like no one cares how much money you're making. No matter, like, see if I got successful and start like showed people all the money that I'm making and all the stuff that I'm buying. Well, I'm not buying any stuff, but if I started buying stuff just to show to people, that would actually put people off me, and that would do me a lot more harm than good. But a lot of people just, they've got it miscommunicated in their head, where they think as soon as they make any sort of money at all, make any purchase, they need to show everyone. No one gives a fuck. No one actually really cares, especially with me. Like people are following me for recipes, for fitness advice. Now, don't get me wrong, there will be people that have been following me since the start that will have built a connection with me, but the majority of my following aren't following for me. They're following for the information that I give to them. So if I just turn into a lifestyle page and be like, look at all the stuff that I have, it's not giving value, so it's not going to make me happy at all.
Yeah. What was that moment like where you paying off your parents' mortgage? That's a big deal, like, you know what I mean? And what was that like? Like how did you even present? Because I feel like over here the stereotypical thing for like Irish parents are like, they're very like, if I went to my mum and dad in the morning, I was like, I'm gonna pay off your mortgage, they'd be like, absolutely not. Like, are you mad?
No.
What was it? What came through your head to do that? Or like what?
It's just like I have the money there, so I may as well pay off. Because I just asked them, I was like, how much is left in your mortgage? I was like, that's doable. But that's something that I think is a happiness thing. Whereas like buying like designer clothes or a car, that's going to bring you a pleasure for the short term. But if you're like, I pay off a mortgage, that's something that brings you true happiness. So that made me feel good as well. It's like, it's for selfish reasons too. Like I've done it because it made me feel good, and obviously I wanted to give back to my parents who dealt with me throughout the years, and like they were always very, very, very good to me, and they're extremely supportive in everything that I do, and that in the content that I make. Like they'll be listening to my podcasts, they'll be listening to all my stuff, they'll be really supportive, they'll be helping me out. Like my mum and dad, they're all super supportive. So if I can give back to them, why wouldn't I do that if I'm in the position to?
Do your parents own like their own businesses?
No, so my mum is a teacher and my dad works in Bombardier. He works in like IT. So they're both doing very well, but they're not from like a business standpoint. They don't run their own businesses. They work for other people. Was it like a surprise thing that you did it for them, or were they fully aware? Like I just said to them, I'll do it, and then I was like, right, we'll do it here. And my mum was like, hey. Hey.
I feel like if I did that with my your dad just walked in and was like, oh, you owe me money for all this smoked paprika that you've used in the kitchen.
No, like I think my mum was like in a bit of a shock, like when I seen her, like she's at work, she came home and she's like, I can't believe you done that. And I was like, it's nothing.
Then you're like, prank. I've actually built an extension on the back of the house. But no, we were fully convinced there because we had seen the protein boar thing, and we had seen the studio, and we were like, does he have that studio? And then you were saying that you'd rented it out.
Yeah,
that was mad because we had seen it. We were
Ross is proper, like he's definitely like built that in his loft, like
because they were like, did you see the he had said, oh, did you see Sean Casey's studio? Because obviously when we're getting people on, we kind of like dig into we creep on them basically.
Yeah.
And And then we'd seen the story that you put up, and you had said, "Oh, that studio looks sick." And I was like, they were all like, "Oh, I wonder where he was at." And I
True
was like,
Geordie vibes on.
Yeah,
Sick.
it's so good. They're called Primal. You can see them on Instagram. I follow them if you go onto who I'm following on Instagram. But their setup's really good. That was actually the first. Second in-person podcast that I done, because I said to James, I was like, "Oh, we need to do a podcast, we need to chat about this." And we're like, "Oh, we'll do it in person." I was like, "That's a good idea." And then I seen that they had a studio, so I'll probably start doing more there, but I'll not be converting the house into a podcast studio.
Your mom and dad said, "You're not doing that," and you're like, "Well, I actually own the house."
Paid off like the last bit of the mortgage.
Did you pay off the mortgage? No, I don't think so. Sit down, shut up. What was it like meeting him? Because I feel like at the moment he's so relevant. Yeah. Where he's on, like, there's freaking like KSI and all comment and all this stuff. Yeah. And I suppose whenever you're looking at that, that's kind of someone who has he almost followed in the same sort of way that you have, where it's like it blew up quite quick.
Oh, he's so much bigger than me. Like he's so much bigger. Like at the minute, like at how he blew up and things like that. I'm not in comparison to him, because he created an internet meme, and even the people that don't follow him, the full country and the full world on TikTok basically knew him. It was just such a surreal situation. But I'd actually I'd seen his content before any of that protein bar stuff, before like the full meme blew up, and he was extremely funny, and it's very rare that I'll see someone and just follow them off the first video. But I was tossed him a follow, and he'd already been following me for a while. He's like, "Oh lad, you followed me, I love your stuff." And I was like, "Mate, you're extremely funny, like keep her lit." And then obviously like literally a month or two later, that full thing just blew up, and it was such a surreal thing, because obviously I run the social circle and teach people how to grow and use different tactics, whereas like I don't teach people how to create an internet meme and take over the full internet, which it was such a mad situation. But it just shows how far like humor has went in that like internet humor and stuff that like wouldn't have been funny years ago. Like everyone just spam protein bar under comments, and like it just catches on, and then everyone just thinks it's funny because everyone else is doing it. It's mad. Like
it's mad even seeing like all the people sending them stuff, like the amount of stuff he got sent, like Gymshark and all
protein
as
bars
well,
for life, like
protein mental.
I just thought it's very refreshing to see like the proper people who don't plan out stuff and like try to be funny. Because that one that he did where where KSI commented, and he was like, "This is even bit at KSI. This is even bigger than the PSNI." And it was just like that's so like rolling off the tongue.
He just records everything. Like if he has something, if he's getting like a drink from the shop, he'll just record it and he'll just talk naturally. So I think that's why people like him so much, because he's just being himself. It's not like a rehearsed video where it's all like, right, this is what I'm going to say, this is like the hook. He's just like, here's the phone, he starts talking, and he's a very likable person.
So for someone like yourself there who does like the social circle and stuff, would you agree that what's happened to him is like a once and like an anomaly? So like for someone, say if someone's listening to this right now and they want to get started on social media and they find themselves in a position that he was in, like what would your advice be to someone like him in terms of hang on to this to grow? Because a lot of people, you know, that'll catch on for a while, but it's how does that stay relevant for a year, 2 years, 3 years? Because obviously protein bar, is it, you know, I mean, it could fade out after a while. So
no, but you see, the thing is where you need to differentiate there. Take someone like Ollie Ball, who done the food reviews and blew up completely, and that was all he was doing. He was just doing food reviews, and then people got sick and tired of seeing the same thing, and then everyone started commenting like fell off and this and that, and just he was 1 minute he was the hero, and then next thing everyone's just being mean to him for no apparent reason, and then since other people are being mean, they're jumping on the bandwagon. That's an example of how something can go up very fast and then sort of fall off. Whereas what James has is it's not like a style of video that he's done, which is he just done protein bar reviews, but he has so much other substance to his content. He's just being himself, so it's not like he is like leaning in and just talking about the meme all the time. It's other people are talking about it, and he's still getting on with like posting his content, appearing on podcasts, just making his normal videos, and he's extremely likable. So I don't think I would like what I said to him was just keep doing what you're doing. Like it's not like he's like all of his content's just about the protein bar. That's just what other people see. He's still making normal content. You know?
I feel like that is a good insight, because I think that sort of I distinctly remember us doing this podcast and posting stuff on TikTok, and I remember the podcast that we done in your kitchen, and you posted the one about Stephen Nolan on TikTok, and we were like 2,000 followers on TikTok. It didn't blow up like to the magnitude that obviously people weren't commenting under other people's TikToks. But I remember we had come back after like half an hour recording, and we had thought it blew up, but then after that people kept commenting like, when are you talking about Nolan again?
I know, that's the issue. Like, people want that one viral video, whereas if the one viral video is not in line with what you talk about, like say for example if you talk about fitness and a viral video of your dog blows up and you get like 10,000 followers from it, people might think that's the worst thing that can happen to you, because now you've got 10,000 people that aren't actually interested in your content. That's where people go wrong, where they're always chasing virality. Like, virality is part of it and it's good, but you need to make sure that you're going viral for the right reasons as well. But at the same time, you was talking about Stephen Nolan, it still was your podcast. That's what you talk about in the podcast, so it wasn't necessarily a bad thing. Like, do
you think people follow you because of your dog?
A lot of people do follow me for my dog, and if I go a while without posting my dog, people will be like, "Where's your dog?" And like, there is people that just follow me to see her. Like, I can't blame them. Like,
is this what's upcoming now? Is this another business?
Yeah,
like
another business.
Sean Casey Kennels or something.
yeah.
Invested in property, investing in kennels like a dog shelter.
Protein treats for your dog.
Do you want to get your dog lean? I think we're wrapping it up. So I think the best thing to sort of ask is, like, I suppose you've talked a lot about having the PT business, online PT, social circle and stuff. What is the next thing? Like, what is the kind of, now you've done this, what do you see is coming down the road?
Yeah, so I always like to be doing something new, whereas like I've done the academy and then the recipe book, the next recipe book, then the social circle. But now I feel like I'm at a point where if I keep launching different businesses, the businesses that I have won't get the attention that they need, and they do need attention. So at the minute, the social circle is a one-off payment for a course. If anyone's listening to this before it turns into subscription, one-off payment, you have access for life. But I'm going to turn that into a subscription. I'm going to start to do Zoom calls and make it like a membership thing. There's already a Facebook group and things like that. So I want to focus in on that. I want to continue to grow my academy. I'm going to be working on a new recipe book once I get back from the holidays here in September, recipe book 3, and it's going to be a massive upgrade. I'm going to hire like a food photographer and things like that. So instead of looking at like launching loads of different businesses, like I will probably get into property and things like that, but with my current businesses, I just want to scale them more, grow them more, make the service better, and just focus on that, because I feel like I launch so much and I've got all these different businesses that I don't need to launch more. I need to focus on what I have and grow them, and I think that they'll do very well.
I was just thinking earlier on there, I kind of want to end this and ask a couple of like quick fire questions. So we always do like a Ross's rants thing at the end, and I was trying to like work it into this, but then I was like, I don't really know how to like bring Ross's rants into a podcast where we're talking to someone else. So I want to take 3 things, right, that are like common in the like fitness or like lifestyle industry, and just see like what your thoughts on them.
All right.
So like cold water, like cold water swimming, or cold water in the morning, like a cold shower. Do you think that's beneficial?
Not for a lot of stuff. Like, are we rolling at the minute?
Yeah.
Oh, we're rolling at the minute.
He's like, cut that out.
I thought you stopped recording, and then I was like, oh, we're just having a heart to heart here.
Let's get deep.
I was like,
now the podcast is finished here, Sean.
Wait, were you just resetting the camera there?
Yeah, I was resetting the camera. I just literally turned it off. I wondered why your response was so like, yeah.
No, I was like, does he need to ask me something here to make sure it's all right that he says right?
No. So right. Ross's rants, blah blah blah. Basically, about, you see a lot of things in the fitness industry along the lines of like people recommend you to do this, do that, do like. So one of the big things is like, oh, this belly workout targeting this particular area. So you've done a lot on that before, but like, is there, with regards to cold water, people always say about cold water swimming, cold water showers, getting in cold water in the morning. Have you done any research on that?
Yeah, well, I've looked into it a bit, but I think that the benefits of it are completely over-exaggerated, in that people that say if it's not going to make you lose weight, people that say, oh, it'll help you lose weight and this and that. But I do think there's something to be said from a mental side of things. If you can do something uncomfortable in the first thing in the morning, it sets you up for the day. There's also research to show that like your dopamine levels, like when you're under the cold water, they go down, but after in the 3 hours after the cold water immersion, your dopamine's way elevated. So that's why a lot of people stand by it. Personally speaking, I was like, you see people on Instagram and they're doing like the cold water dips, and you're like, that looks class, like, and then you go and you do it and you realize that it's cold. And then you're like, fuck, this is not cool. So it's not my cup of tea. It's like, I feel like there's so many things that you can do to help improve your body composition, your health and fitness. And cold water immersion wouldn't be like on my top 30 list, but I feel like if someone does it and it helps them with their mental clarity and they feel like they get benefits from it, I'm not going to say that they shouldn't do it, but I just feel like there's much more important things that you could focus on.
It's pushed a lot at the moment. Like I see a lot of people saying like the best way that you could like get out of this, like cure your, you know, your anxiety or whatever,
like
start taking
like fair enough, but like I think that if someone has anxiety, there's other things that apart from cold water immersion, and I feel like a lot of people are on their high horse because they jump in a fucking bucket of cold water and they think that they're somehow like motivational gurus, like they're in a bucket of cold water like doing videos and all. You're like, mate, calm down. Like so like if people want to do it, I think it's completely fine. I think there could be benefits to it, but I don't think it's worth.
You see,
it's like I wake up at 5 a.m. and get my wheelie bin full of water.
Yeah, it's a bit mad. Like it's not for me. Like. But I've seen like you see the likes.
You done the sea dips?
You love doing it.
Yeah,
but did you not see any benefits in it?
I'm not gonna lie. Last year, I did a lot of it. I was probably in the sea every other day. Yeah. But then I was off work and had nothing else to do. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I like quit my last job before I started my new job. Took 2 months off, and then it was one of them things where it's like we're just gonna try this. And to be fair, I didn't really notice many health benefits because like straight after we were going to like Tim Hortons and eating bagels and shit. But at the same time, I did notice like I was easier to get up in the morning and all that there. But I think that's just like a routine. I think a routine that you actually enjoy. But like the other day, I was up in the coast and I was working from up there, and then my girlfriend was like, we'll go to the beach. We'll go do a cold water swim. She's saying that'll, because after work, like there's a lot going on in my head, and I was like, I'm just stressed about this. And she was like, we'll go do a cold water swim and it'll clear your head. And I was like, right, whatever. Get in the water, freeze my nuts off. Like, I'm not gonna lie, get in the water. As soon as it hit like my mid region, I was like, no, I'm good. Like, but then she sort of forced me, went in, got back out of the water
fucking
again.
Gets your head, get the fuck.
But like dried off, and then she was like, how do you feel? And I was like, no, I'm still worried about everything that I was worried about before I went into the water. Like.
I find it tightens you up though a bit, like skin wise, like it sort of like pulls you together or something.
You see him leashing a microphone at you across the table. Misinformation.
Honestly, I feel like I lose a few pounds after it. Everything feels a bit more sucked in. Like, once you get the cold water in you.
Could be onto something there. Make a video. I'll call you out on it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Start some internet beef.
But we'll end that there. Thank you so much for coming on.
Pleasure.
And
pleasure.
You're away for the next few weeks, partying away.
Yeah, going
just
to Croatia tomorrow. And
sniff and smoke paprika.
What is he gonna say?
But honestly, thank you so much for coming on. And obviously, if people want to go and follow you, it's literally just a case of typing in Sean Casey,
SKC Fitness,
SKC Fitness,
and
social
podcast.
circle and all that there. If you're looking to build on social media,
completely free course on the social circle. Go to the Instagram page, link in the bio. There's a free course there. You can check it out and see if you like it, and then get the full thing if you want to before it turns into a subscription.
Get the full monthly. Fair enough.
Oh yeah, before you go, will you bring a bottle of paprika with you on holidays?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Did you get stopped through the airport? It's like
it's not what it looks like. It's in like a wee baggie and all.
Thank you so much for going on.
Pleasure. Thanks for having me.